Stitch Roadies. Well, today is kind of an overcast day here in the Portland area. It is, I see no blue sky. It's high clouds. The sun isn't even breaking through at this point. If you hear some pounding and noise, it's because we have a fence company, Rick's Fence Company, here in Portland, putting some fencing up. It's going to be a crazy time in the household. We have our younger son and his family moving in temporarily in and out of our home while they sell their home. And we had already had a list of things since we moved here that are on our to-do or remodel list, and one of them was a section of fence. And what I know is that life works out in an interesting way, because our yard was not enclosed, and we decided, or rather I decided, I wanted the backyard enclosed, and one section of it was open, and so I wanted to put a fence and gate up there. And just in the nick of time, the fencing company is doing that before my grandchildren show up. And let me tell you, yesterday I went out to look at the gate, and there was a gap about this big at the bottom because of how we wanted the gate to swing. And I looked at it, and I talked to my fence guy, and I said, I don't think that's gonna work. Because I know my younger grandson, he's gonna G.I. Joe crawl out underneath that gate before I can even get it unlatched. So he said, well, then we have to only have it swing one way because our yard is on a slope. And I said, well, I guess that's better than having my grandson get out on the street. Because we live on a fairly busy street. It's private here in the back, but the front is fairly busy. You know, I don't want my grandchildren running around out there. So if you hear pounding, all of that is an explanation to, if you hear pounding, it's the fence guy. I just got back a couple days ago from my quilting retreat, and it was spectacular, absolutely spectacular. Our group has been together since the early 90s, and a couple of the members are actually ones that got me into quilting. So there's a lot of history. We worked together, we raised our children, we've had deaths, divorce, trauma, loss, joy. It is a gift. It is a gift. And anytime you can bond with a group of friends, they become your support system during hard times. Yeah, they become your support system during hard times. So needless to say, I had a fabulous time. We rented a house in Sun River, Oregon, and it was right on the river. The wildlife was amazing, absolutely amazing. And so you could just sit there and stitch. And I mean, I cannot tell you how relaxing that was. And I decided to take only handwork, so I had a lot of quilting handwork to take, and then I took my cross stitch. Now in the group there's 10 of us, but one did not come and was not able to come. So out of that group, only, I should say, four of us are cross stitchers. So there was cross stitching going on there off and on between the quilting. There's knitters, so there's lots of, it's mostly about bonding, but there is creativity going on. So it was fun to show the cross-stitching. I have been fascinated by the fact that I have switched. I don't know if it's going to continue on this way, but I have become a compulsive stitcher. And by compulsive stitcher, what I mean is I'm not monogamous in terms of I am only working on one project day in and day out until it's done. But I do end up with one stitch that is like a total focus. I mean, it's the only one I stitch on in the evening. And I have to be very careful which stitch it is that I bond to, because I'm not going to be able to switch it out. I have to get it done until, it's probably a little bit of my eccentric personality. So my compulsive stitch was Emily's Bliss. And although I took the cross-stitch projects I took to retreat was Emily's Bliss, Gobble, and the Maya Angelou stitch. I don't know whether it was lucky or not lucky, it's the way you look at it. I was thinking that I was going to stitch Gobble till it was done, but I forgot the thread. I forgot the floss. So I texted G and I said, is there a ring of floss hanging off? Because when I sit in my chair in the evening, I have the Brightech lamp that sits over. It's a standing lamp. And I attached a command hook to the leg of that lamp, and I hang my floss away bag ring on that, so it's kind of out of the way. And since I use floss away bags and I store them on rings in projects, that's how that just seems like a convenient. Well, I forgot to bring the threads, so I asked him. I didn't want to keep looking for it in my suitcase and the piles of things I brought. So I asked him, can you check and see if there's a ring hanging off my lamp? And he took a picture of it and said, yep. And when I said, can you bring it to me? He said, nope. Or rather, he just sent me a laughing emoji. Yeah. I guess a 3-hour drive over the mountain wasn't his idea of an emergency, but I felt like it was a cross-stitch emergency. So Gobble didn't get touched, and I ended up picking up Emily's Bliss, and it was compulsive for me, that whole quilt retreat. If I wasn't dealing with quilting things, I was stitching on Emily's Bliss. And Emily's Bliss is a, let me see, it's a Summer House Stitchworks pattern. And I got it from Acorns and Threads. And I'm definitely doing the drum. And I got the whole little kit with the gewgaws. The gewgaws you need to make that drum. And so here is what that compulsive stitch looks like. All I have left is the top and bottom borders to finish. The whole center is done, and then I'm going to be ready to turn this into a drum. I'm very excited about it because I want a drum. And I want to learn how to make a drum. But what I can say about this is Janine kitted it up with silk threads, Gloriana silk threads. I love silk threads. They don't tangle as much. They are so soft and the colors are spectacular. I would do every project in silk threads if I could, but then it would mean one of my grandchildren would not go to college. Their college fund would not be contributed to. But I'm quite pleased because I could conceivably have this as a finish in April and as an FFO in May. I'm kind of excited about that possibility. And she gives instructions on how to make the drum in her pattern on the Summer House Stitchworks. But it was all kitted up by Janine. And then I bought this sweet little, a while ago, but it's been the perfect way to carry Emily's Bliss. It's a small, look at the charm on there, it's a leaf. It's a small project bag. And there's a gal who makes small and medium and large project bags and sells them through Acorns and Threads. So you can call up. Yeah. It was so fun. All I can say, it was so fun to be able to relax. And having only taken handwork, I really made some dents in some UFOs or whips. And I didn't even touch the other 2 cross-stitch projects I took. Which means when this one is done, I have a handful of projects that are birthday projects. So I need to figure out the birthday schedule, because you know you don't want that all of a sudden and you're eating and you're not eating or sleeping because all you're doing is cross stitch. Yeah. I posted on Instagram yesterday that I had a prairie schooler finish, you know, and it's finish a prairie schooler, start a prairie schooler. That's my mantra. When I took that prairie schooler Santa that I finished and brought it up yesterday, I realized it wasn't finished, that I forgot the words, I didn't have ho 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 stitched on it, so this morning I had to do that. So now it is finished because it's got the ho 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 on it. And I had to put 4 legs on my deer. I don't know. And a couple of you sent me photographs of the deer with 4 legs. So I did not chart the 4th leg. I just looked at the photographs and stitched as I saw it. And it worked out perfectly. So if you want to stop this and take a look at it, and you have this particular Prairie Schooler Santa, it looks better with 4 legs. It just does. But I like him. Yeah. I am so behind, and I realize that life gets busy, and I had explained to my other Flosstuber friends that because I've been doing YouTube for a while, with quilt roadies that I notice and I understand the wax and wane of viewers, because when the weather starts getting better and you're out and about and working in the yard and hiking and traveling, there isn't as much time to spend watching. It's kind of like TV watching kind of goes by the wayside, and so I'm so far behind on my own viewing of Flosstube. All my favorites is I'm so far behind. And then when you do finally get a chance, you're going, what happened? When did this happen? What? But know that we're all here. We are still here filming or filming, that really dates me, videoing away, and that it'll be here for when you are stuck at home and there's 20 feet of snow. I can't remember if I shared this with you, but as I was, my two big enablers, I have two big enablers, and that is Textstylust Lori and her girlfriend, her bestie, who is Lisa, Kindred Stitcher. I have to be careful when I watch them because I will not get through an episode. And yeah, I will not get through an episode without stopping and shopping. And I know that it was one of them that, and I don't know if I showed this to you, but I got it on the secondary market, and it's a Leisure Arts. Isn't that sweet? And this is what it's called. One of them showed this, and I can't remember which one. But I had to have it, and I had to have it because I just loved this one. I mean, all of the projects in here are absolutely adorable, but I just wanted this one in my house, hanging up. And I want it sooner than later, so I think I am going to be kitting this up. I mean, look at this. Every chart is so awesome. Yeah, that's the other thing about Flosstube is that you get sucked into shopping. You get sucked into shopping. I was on Instagram, and well, let me take this back. I have a project bag, which I didn't bring here, that has been one of my all-time favorite project bags. It has Mickey Mouse on it, and it is so incredibly well made. It really is. This project bags that are made are like professional. It's much like Heather PunkyPurl. Her sewing is exceptional, and I've had this project bag with Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse on it for a long time. It was one that I bought like 3 or 4 years ago. And whenever people see it, they're like, oh my gosh, who made that? But there was no tag. And that's what I want to say to all of you that are one-person business. You're a one-person business. It's really important for you to have a logo or a name that's attached to the beautiful things that you sew and make up, because out here in YouTube land, we can push that out into the world in a different way that will help you if you wanted it. And so that bag, you know, this is a few years ago, did not have any tag, or I had no idea who made it until someone, and I can't remember who that someone was, told me who the bag maker was. So I went and looked for the bag maker on Instagram and found her in the nick of time. In the nick of time, because she sells or she shows what she's selling on Instagram, and she put another project bag on Instagram, and I mean, I could not press it fast enough to message her that I wanted one. And here it arrived while I was gone. I mean, this is the most beautiful bag. An exceptional, exceptional seamstress. So that zipper opens so lovely. And then, can you see this? So inside, there's a zippered pouch. And I love this. There's a snap where, you know, it's covered by that soft felt stuff, so it's like a thread, you know, it keeps your, when you don't want to put it back on the ring. So that, and look at it, I mean, matches the bag. She included a little bee waxer. I'm going to try using that. I love getting them, but I've never used them, you know, so, but it explains on the baggie how to use it. There is this gorgeous pouch that came in it, and a crocheted flower. And in the next, there's a snap-on pouch. So let me see if I can hold this up so you can see. This pouch here snaps on to the back, so you can unsnap it. And there's another pouch there. And then this pouch, which snaps onto it, has this little tag. You could actually take this off and put it on a pair of scissors. And it has little scissor holder or whatever you want to, I mean, and the binding around all of this is done like a quilt. So it's hand stitched down. It's going to be my Blackbird design. And this project bag is Debbie / stitching. This bag is incredible. The zippers are incredible. What it makes me want to do is to start a very, very special project. But I want to start a new project, but I might move my sister's birthday project into this. Look at this bag. I mean, I have to show you again. I mean, is that incredible? I bought it for myself. I have had this great desire to start a new project, but I'm trying to, what I need to do is to look at the calendar and make sure that all the birthday gifts that I'm doing are going to get done in time. But this is a beautiful, beautiful bag. Absolutely stunning. I've been looking for TV shows. You know, I've been looking for TV shows to watch, and a couple of people in the comments suggested Ghosts, It's funny. It's funny. I never even heard of it before. But it's quite funny. So if you're looking, ambulance just went by. Went by quietly, so must not be a big emergency. But Ghosts, it apparently was a show or is a show on CBS. I don't know that, but I started watching it on the streaming. It was streaming someplace. Oh, oh no, that's a Roto-Rooter. I thought it was another ambulance. It's a well, that might be an emergency for somebody. A Roto-Rooter. So what was I talking about? Oh, Ghosts. Ghosts. So it's funny. I mean, I've only seen 3 shows, but it's totally different. It's about a young couple who she inherits this manor house that they are thinking about turning into a B&B, and it's inhabited by years and years and years of ghosts who have died on that land. And so they're in that house. And the young woman ultimately ends up being able to see them because she has an accident as they're walking around and falls down the stairs and is whisked to the hospital and was dead for 3 minutes before they revived her. And when they revived her, she was able to see the ghosts in the house. So it's quite funny because it's different eras. The ghosts come from different eras. There's a Viking warrior, and there's a proper lady, and there's a hippie girl that was camped in the woods and a bear got her. So it's I mean, it maybe is not everybody's cup of tea, but it is better than Mama June's Redemption, I am sure. I am sure. Well, I think that's all I have. I'm going to be meeting, I think on May 5th, I'm going to have a chance to meet up with one of the viewers of Stitch Roadie that's traveling through the area, and we're going to meet up at Acorns and Threads. I'm really scared to go in there because, you know, I mean, you know. I'm bummed that I won't be at the Acorn Gathering because Janine did not talk to me ahead of time and scheduled it on my anniversary weekend. And I don't even want to tell G because he would say, go, 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 but I really want to spend my anniversary with him. I mean, it's so funny. This morning we were, you know, he makes coffee and we sit in the living room and I'm like chatting away. We haven't been together for like 6 days, and I was just chattering away about something, and I said, "Did you miss me? Did you enjoy your quiet?" You know, he moves into the day very quietly. He's a peaceful kind of quiet person, and I am my parents' daughter, both of them, in that bing, and I'm like blah, 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 blah. I am not everybody's cup of tea, and I can be exhausting. And that's why in retreat, whenever we do my Fabric Stalkers group retreats, Robin and I share a room because we are both the same. We approach the day, I mean, one day I woke up, I think it was just before 5. It was still dark outside. And I said, "Is it time to get up?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "I haven't heard the bird yet." The bird's outside. But by the time we got up, the birds were all, and then we creeped down the stairs. I almost fell down the stairs. We creep down the stairs and get our coffee and sit and drink our coffee and start stitching. So it's easier if she and I room together because we are both early risers, much to the dismay of some of the fabric stockers, especially if we have to be very quiet. We have to be very quiet. Well, thank you for stopping by. I want you to know that it helps me to know that you're out there. Yeah. I can just chat away. I can just chat away. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you find something extraordinary to stitch on. And we'll see you the next time. I love you guys.